this tomorrow afternoon as well. Meanwhile, across the Front Range, much different. We're talking about those blue skies. Temperatures are pretty comfortable right now, and when you're looking at HD Doppler, it is quiet pretty much across the board. It's not until you really zoom out that you get a look at what's coming next, and that is going to be, that's a zoomed in look, not a zoomed out look. I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. First though, your temperatures, 39 degrees in Centennial and Parker, 41 in Denver and out at DIA, Longmont right now at 46 degrees, and just in case you're joining us at a different time, currently I'm talking about 12:30 on Friday afternoon. So that's kind of the timing for those current conditions. Winds are anywhere from 15 to 25 miles per hour in the mountains. Otherwise, pretty quiet for most of the Front Range, and they'll stay that way throughout most of the day and really even into tomorrow. Even with this storm system coming in, wind isn't looking to be the biggest issue here. So throughout the rest of this afternoon, we hang out in the mid 40s, a pretty seasonal day. Wind stays light, and then when that sun goes down, those temperatures do drop off pretty fast. It'll still be quiet through the overnight hours with those temperatures dropping down to about 20 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. Sun goes down at 4:51 this evening. So it doesn't feel like much, but we are getting longer days little by little each day as we get closer and closer toward the spring. Highs tomorrow, much cooler, low 30s, 30 degrees in Denver, 33 in Fort Collins, Greeley at about 34 degrees with mid 20s when we're looking at the mountains. All right, let's talk about tomorrow, because by now you probably heard there are some changes headed our way as we're looking at Saturday. So first thing you'll notice, the cloud cover. We're going to stay cloudy pretty much all throughout the morning, and then into tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures will be much cooler in the low 30s, and then that snow arrives mainly for the afternoon. So if you've got any things to get done tomorrow, any errands to run earlier in the day, the better. That way you don't have to deal with any of that fresh snow on the road, although it's going to be pretty light, so I don't think this will be a major impact here. Looking at your forecast for tomorrow, let's go ahead and walk you through it. Statewide look first. As we get into Saturday morning, it arrives in the mountains, but this won't be a major mountain snowmaker. This actually seems to have more of an impact on southern Colorado, and then even just a little bit of the Front Range as well. So by Saturday afternoon, that snow really fills in, and you can see right around 9:30, 10 o'clock, it's pretty steady up and down the I-25 corridor, and then all the way down into southern Colorado as well. But once we get into the overnight hours, it really tapers off pretty quickly. And in fact, I think waking up Sunday morning, we're not going to be dealing with much of that leftover snowfall. Taking now a zoomed in look at the Front Range, where you can see cloud cover by morning, possibly some light snow reaching into the mountains, and then for the southern part of the metro area. Otherwise, again, it's really by the afternoon. So mainly after the lunch hour, we'll look for those snow showers to head on to the Front Range, I-25 corridor. But there is something interesting about the way that this particular storm system will set up and where we could see the most snow. So it's not too big of a surprise that down by the Palmer Divide, usually they pick up maybe an extra inch or two, but really that southeastern and southern corner of the Denver metro area in that 2 to 4 inch range. So that looks to be some of our highest totals across the Front Range. Boulder on north in that 1 to 3 inch range, but for the rest of us, we're really talking about less than 2 inches. So very similar to that storm system that we had recently. So if you even get 2 inches, I think that'll be on the higher end here. So hopefully you don't have to do a ton of shoveling on Sunday morning. That's the good news out of this. Down toward Castle Rock and Parker though, yep, 2 to 4 inches a possibility there. Taking now a statewide look, you can see up through our mountains. Again, this isn't a huge snowmaker. In fact, it could be a bit of a miss for Steamboat. The northern Front Range mountains could pick up maybe an inch or two, and then some of the bigger impacts will actually be for southern Colorado. So down toward the Springs, we could pick up 3 or 4 inches, and then also when you're looking down toward that south central border there. So that's another spot that could see some of those higher totals. Well, after this, we don't really have much going on. Mid 30s by Sunday, 46 on Monday. We're back to sunshine and really mild temperatures through the middle of next week, both Tuesday and Wednesday in the 50s, and then those winds do start to pick up on Thursday and Friday of next week. So that's kind of a look at your forecast as we're heading into this weekend, and I want to hop on over now to Facebook to answer any questions that you guys might have. You guys can throw them in there, and I will do my best to answer them as quickly as I can. Let me just go ahead and find our Facebook page. All right, let's see here. I'm seeing just a couple of comments so far. All right, Seth says hi. Hello to Seth. And then we've got a couple people talking about how this is not seasonal. and specifically talking about climate change. And I think when we're talking about climate change in particular, it's really awesome to have these conversations. One particular weather event is not necessarily an indication or not an indication of climate change. I will say this has been an extremely dry season so far. And actually, our meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen just did a really cool blog on why you shouldn't feel guilty about enjoying the dry Colorado winter that we've had if you are, getting out there and hiking just a little bit more. So I actually tweeted that, and maybe we'll have a chance we can throw it in the comments here if you guys want to check that out. But basically, when it comes to those drought conditions, it's going to take a lot more to make up for them than just a couple of these drier snowstorms. But actually, I just want to go ahead and show you, since we're talking about how dry it's been, and no denying that when it comes to moisture, but I'm wondering if we could hop back over to my graphics for just a second, because just to take a look at where we're at as far as snow goes, I just went ahead about a week ago, so right about January 1st, I went ahead and put together how much snow we've seen so far this season. Now, it's been incredibly dry and above average, but the snowstorms that we have gotten, they've actually put down a decent amount of snow. So we got that inch back in September. Remember that? That was like September 3rd. It was absolutely wild. October, we got 4 inches of snow, 5 inches in November, and then December got about 7 inches. So we're still about 4 inches behind what's considered average by January 1st, but that's actually not as bad as I thought it was, just given the fact of how dry it is and our current drought conditions right now, which I can go ahead and pull up for you. As we look at this, I mean, we're still in extreme to exceptional drought conditions all throughout the high country. And then even when we're looking at the Front Range and Eastern Plains as well. So just not seeing much moving there. But one thing to keep in mind is that we are actually in some of our least snowy months, or we're heading into some of our least snowy months. So March and April are our snowiest months by far. You can see we average about 11.5 inches in March. Typically those come in a couple of bigger, juicier storms. And then when you talk about December and January, a lot of times it's quite a bit colder during these months. And so with that, we just don't get the moisture content with a lot of these storm systems that come on through. So that's more so reserved for once we get into the back half of spring. December on average is our 3rd snowiest month, followed by February, then November, and then January. So just keep that in mind as we go throughout this month. We only average about 6.5 inches. So if we do pick up about 2 inches now, 2 inches in the next couple of storms, that would put us kind of right on track for what is average for December or for January in Colorado. So I'm not seeing a lot of other questions right now, but it could be my computer acting kind of funky. All right, trying to answer any more of your questions, but I'm just not seeing them. My internet might have gotten a little bit weird. But we are always happy to answer any questions that you guys have. Looks like I've got one more. This one's from Yvonne. Hey Kylie, are we going to have warm weather? Well, yes, we are going to see that after this weekend. We're going to be right back up into the 40s and 50s by next week. And so for January, I would consider that pretty warm. So appreciate all of you guys hopping on in here, asking any questions that you have. We're always here to answer any questions. You can always leave a comment on the Facebook page. You can email us at weather@9news.com. We're always really happy to help you out and answer any questions. But I will see you guys again early tomorrow morning. We start on channel 20 at 6 a.m. and then we're on channel 9 from 7 to 9 a.m. And then of course you get Danielle tomorrow night when that snow is coming down. So we'll be keeping you up to date on that. And don't forget, if you haven't downloaded that 9 News app, now is a great time to do it. Hope you all have a happy and safe weekend, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.